Hello, hello, hello. We're now live. Hello, Pratik. How are you? Hey all. Hope you're all well. So I've not done one of these before. I did a little bit of testing earlier on, and so I don't know how well this is going to go. Really all it's about is just to say hello to everybody and give a little bit of an update on the channel, the things that I'm trying to do, and also answer some of your questions as well. And I'm also going to give you a little bit of a preview of some of the things that I'm currently working on that will be in the mod, so you'll be able to see those live and see what I've got available for you. Also, once I've gone through a few of the questions, if you have any questions, then please type in the chat and I will come back to them and I will answer. Obviously I'm English. I only speak English, so I can only reply in English, and I will be replying some answers in text form, so you'll be able to use Google Translate, and hopefully that will help to get you the message across. I will also at the end put some in the description, or maybe the first comment, I will also put a summary of what I've mentioned, so that anybody that wants to read it later on, who doesn't quite understand what I'm saying or can't understand from what I'm showing on the screen, they can then go back and use Google Translate to basically read what I've actually talked about. So yeah, so let's get on with it, shall we? So the first thing is I've been asked, am I retiring from modding? And the answer is yes, I am going to be retiring from modding. I've been doing it for many years, probably longer than some of you guys have actually been born, to be honest. So it is time for me to stop. Hello from Brazil, and hello from everybody, by the way. It's amazing to have so many people from so many countries. It's amazing, so really nice. And I did see some messages asking me if I could do streams earlier, and over time I will try to do them at different times depending on the audience, but for now I had to do what was right for me. If you don't know, in the UK where I'm from England, we are currently, I'm just reading it now on the TV, being put back into another lockdown. I know that in Brazil in particular they had it really bad, and all across the world it's been absolutely awful for many countries, and we're going through, I think this is our third or fourth lockdown. Awful. But let's get into the nice stuff. So again, I will be retiring from modding. This is planned to be the last FIFA Infinity patch mods that I do for FIFA 14. I will also be releasing one for FIFA 15 as well. That one will not be as good as FIFA 14, but I'll be honest, I don't have as many of the files that I have available for FIFA 15, but the mod itself should be pretty much the same. So now, hello everybody. So the other question that I am often asked is, what are the future plans with the channel? So you may have seen in some of my videos that I uploaded a video of me unboxing an Xbox Series X, and I've been able to get hold of one of those, and I have a whole backlog of old games and new games and things like that. And I've been given an opportunity to maybe to promote that stuff. So I am looking into possibly doing streaming of those games. Now, I am not completely ruling out modding for other games, but I'm just telling everybody that I will also be doing that content. I will also, and I am considering doing content based around FIFA 14 mod as well. So I am considering doing a career mode maybe, and this will help me to be able to show people while I play the things that I do, issues that you may come across, and you'll be able to see that and you'll be able to sort them out. And I'll probably do some live streaming and I can answer questions as I go. So when people find problems, I can show you how to fix them, or I can show you what I do so that you do not make those errors. Because sometimes that's what happens. People install the mod and they're not quite sure how it works, maybe because they can't speak the English, maybe because I'm not clear, and maybe because I've made a mistake. And so therefore I'll be able to show you live what to do and how to do it. Okay, hope that helps. The final thing, and this is one which is a real problem for me, is why is it that I stop some channels from promoting HBZ and FIFA Infinity Patch mods? Now the reason why, and this is a personal one, I just want to address it now, and this will be the last time, is because I have given people permission to share the mod. I've got no problem with anybody sharing the mod, but all I ask is that they obviously credit my channel, credit FIFA Infinity website, and also use the original links that I post for the content. What happens a lot of the time though is a lot of the people, they do not respect that. They will obviously, yes, the live stream will be available after on YouTube, yes, and that they will use their own links. They will try to make money off of the mods. They will also try to claim that it is their mod and all of that sort of thing. And some of them try to get around and say, well, I've used your name. They're only using my name so that they can get the traction to their website. I hope that makes sense. Now, there are some sites that I am actually going to give them permission to actually promote the mods going forward, just to help me a little bit, but also to help them, because they've been very, very nice to me in terms of they've always been very respectful of the content. So that's the only reason. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I just don't want people to just keep taking something that takes a long time to create. And because literally, for example, it may take me months to do a certain part of the mod, and I release it, and within an hour or two, some people have already made a video promoting the site, but they're not really promoting me, they're promoting their channel, and they get all of the benefits and I get nothing. And that's what happens very often, and that bothers me a little bit, because it's very unfair that my team and I do not get what we deserve. Hope that makes sense. Right, now all that stuff is done, I'm just going to go through some of the questions that I'm really asked. And you see some of these questions here. Now, I'm always asked about features that are currently available in newer versions of FIFA, like, for example, one player to kick off games. That isn't possible currently within FIFA 14. The mechanic is within the game itself, and there hasn't been anybody who's been able to break that yet and get into those files. So I'm afraid after all of this time, I don't think that's ever going to happen. I've also been asked, can there be more than 3 subs possible in a game? It is possible in simmed games, and I can do that. However, I haven't seen that it makes the game unstable, and I want the game to be as stable as possible, so I'm not going to add it. But it is possible, it's just that you can't do it yourself. So if you're playing a game and you want to bring on a 4th sub or so on, it's just not possible. The other things that I'm asked about are, can I add release clauses into the setup? No, that's not something that's possible. I can put wording in that makes it sound like there's a release clause, but they do not work. So it's just completely pointless. And I'm very much like that. If it's pointless, I'm not going to add it. If it adds no value, if it actually doesn't work, I won't add it. I have tried to also add in an option for 2-year loans. Unfortunately, that's not possible either. It's limited to within a 1 year or 1 season window. So those are the main ones. Now, I'm being asked about gameplay mods. Now, the gameplay mods. Hello from Turkey. Hello, Imran. Good to see you, mate. Nice young lad from India. Is doing very, very well with his channel and so on. Can you show me how to install the Turkish language? I'll tell you what, I will put a link up for the Turkish language shortly to show you how to do that, okay? But first of all, I'm going to come back to these original questions. Will there be any additional gameplay mods? Yes, there will. There was one I already released with FIP version 2. That will be there. I also have been sent one, which is very good. The name escapes me of who sent it to me, but I will be having that will be available. I've also looked at some other mods that use gameplay, and I've tried to recreate them, and if I'm honest, they're just placebos. Like, there's nothing different in those files to what is in vanilla FIFA 14. So there may be a reason why they've added those files, and I'm guessing it's to do with the cracked version, i.e. the version I don't usually support. And so what I think I may do is I may add some of those files in, because I think that as the game was updated, you're not getting to actually play. No, I'm not watching any other football games at the moment. I've got to concentrate on this because I'm going to be modding for a little while. I've got to get in touch with the team, you see. So that's a gameplay mod. The other thing is about Champions League music and other entrance music. So I don't know if you guys are aware of Modding Way. Now, I obviously this patch here is supposed to be a link up between us and Modding Way. Now, unfortunately, Ariel, who is the guy who works for Modding Way, or is the owner of Modding Way, or was the owner of Modding Way, he has had some problems, which I'm not going to go into, and he's not been available for a few months now, which means that some of the things that we'd planned to do are not possible. But I do have permission to use the Modding Way stuff and everything that's been used before. So one of the things that you can now use is the Modding Way selector, and I will be making it possible that you will be able to choose certain elements like new turfs, and the stuff that was there before. Some of this stuff will not be worth using, like select tournaments and TV presentation, and some of this stuff is not viable. But if you do want the entrance music, you will be able to select it by selecting one of these options here. Okay, so that stuff will be covered. However, the other software that I use will supersede this. Okay. Hello from Poland. Can everybody hear me okay, by the way? I forgot to ask. And is everybody understanding what I'm saying? Do you want me to type anything down as I speak? Hello. Okay, you hear it good. That's good. Good. I'm going to run the... All good. Okay, so you can hear me good. Okay, excellent. So the first thing I think, so that was just briefly on Modding Way. It's a real shame about Modding Way. It would have been really great. It was the only reason I'm actually doing this mod now is because of Ariel, and unfortunately he's not been available. It's a real shame. But the team that I work with are amazing. They're so good. It's just a shame that COVID has slowed us down a bit. So one of the other questions is basically the can I add new teams? Now, I'm not going to be adding any new teams to FIFA Infinity now. So the mod itself is as it is. It will be released. So I'm going to show you some of the teams now, and then show you exactly what teams are going to be in the mod. I cannot show you career mode today because I'm halfway through editing the national teams. And so the career mode will crash when I try to open it. So unfortunately I won't be showing you career mode, but I will be showing you all of the teams and so on. The most requested one is the national team. So I'm going to go to the internationals. And there are some new teams here, but I'll quickly just show you these. I hope can you see these okay on the screen? Okay. Okay, so what we've got Korea Republic here, England, Albania, Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, Croatia, Czech Republic, Denmark, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Iceland, Italy, Norway, Poland, Portugal, Republic of Ireland, Romania, Russia, Scotland, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, Turkey, Ukraine, Wales, Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, Uruguay, Costa Rica, Mexico, United States, Nigeria, Cameroon, China PR or Republic, Australia, Senegal, Hungary, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Netherlands, Northern Ireland, Serbia, South Africa, Peru, Colombia, Ivory Coast, Egypt, Algeria, Bolivia, Canada, Chile, Ghana, which is a new team, Ecuador, New Zealand and Venezuela. Now, some people have asked for more national teams. I have added some new ones, and the situation is that in career mode, which my mod is mostly based around, you can only have 60 national teams in career mode. Any more than that and the game will not load. We've tried many times to try and get around it, and it just seems impossible. So unfortunately I did want to add more teams from Asia and all over the world, but unfortunately I'm not been able to do it. In fact, there are some people I'm actually going to send them teams that I'd already agreed because they've helped me out after I've released the mod, because I can't add them to the main mod. Can anybody speak Turkish and reply to these guys, because I do not have the because I cannot. I don't think they're understanding what I'm writing. I do agree, FIFA 14 is the best for me, Lucas. Although I must admit, FIFA 21 is pretty good. I've got to be honest. Like, I've been playing that a lot on Xbox Series X. It's really, really good. What's this, George? Is that right, George Miguel? Hi. Is that for FIFA 16? Now, FIFA 16 is going to be very, very similar to FIFA Infinity Patch. So everything that I'm showing you here, you'll probably see that in FIFA Infinity Patch 16. I could restrict the. I could do that, and I am looking into doing that. However, because FIFA 14 is quite old, and because FIFA 14 has so many people from so many different countries downloading it, I find myself constantly answering questions over and over again about the same thing, and I'm worried that if I put a password on or something like that, that's all I'm going to end up doing is answering those questions. I spend so much time answering questions. It's insane. It really is. But I enjoy it. But you know, sometimes you just want to get on with it. So that's the main things. I'm just going to show you the leagues, and I'll just do it from here, from the drop down, rather than going through and show you all the channels. So show you all the teams. But basically, every team every team that is in FIFA 21 will be in this game. Okay. You're also going to have some new leagues, which are not in FIFA 21, which of course are Brazil, which is here. Those would be the teams. That's for the for the 2020 season, and you're also going to have the Russian Premier League as well, or the Premier Liga. I don't know how it's pronounced. So those teams, that's going to be for season 2021, I believe. I will come back to these questions shortly. So those are the teams. Now, I've also been asked about the new teams. So I am going to confirm that the Egyptian League is going to be added into the game. Now, obviously, the Egyptian League is part of the Africa nations. And there, of course, are no African nations in FIFA 14 by default, so that has to be tested. However, I'm pretty sure that we can get that working with no problems in career mode. Alright, so Egyptian League, and the other league is a South American league as well, so I'm going to try and expand that. And that's coming along the back of, I'm also including, which I wasn't originally going to include, the Chile and Colombia leagues in the initial release of the patch as well. So you're going to get far more than actually was originally going to be included in the December release, which I think is great, to be honest. And it's one of the benefits of it being slowed down and being held up. So let me just, before I go on to some of your questions, anything else? And so that's the new teams. What teams have been, what national teams are included. So I've also been asked previously, will there be any new trophy presentations? So people are often asking, can I add the trophy presentations from like FIFA 21? And again, they're similar to the kickoff. It's just not currently possible. However, what I will be trying to do is actually include in the career mode, where we go here. So if I go down to, let me think, what leagues have I got? So I've got like the Super Cup, for example. Let's just show you that. I'm hoping that what I'll have is make sure that I've got all of the correct league trophies and so on for every league, all updated and working as they are now in real life and so on. That's the plan. So I'm just hoping that I get the trophies. What other ones I've got in here? I've got the CONMEBOL here. In fact, whilst I'm in here, why don't I show you what we've got going on, shall I? So you've got the Libertadores trophies as well, the South American ones, and we'll go from there. So these are the trophies. So at the moment you can see we've got Brazil and Argentina, okay, and you've also got the Copa the Sudamericana. As you can see, it's much larger than it was in the previous release, far more going on, much larger competitions. You've also got the Libertadores, which includes the group stage and so on. I'm really looking forward to playing that myself, to be honest, because the competition has been improved so much. Of course it can't be the full competition because I do not have all of the teams, but when I do add in Chile, Colombia and Uruguay, you can have a much better experience in that part of the world. I haven't decided which teams will be removed if needed. In the AFC teams, the Asian teams, we've got Saudi Arabian League, Korean League, Japan, China and Australian leagues. All of these have now been edited so that they match currently the current 2020 season, and I'm also looking forward to playing that because I've also increased the AFC Champions League in Asia so that it has slightly larger groups, so hopefully that makes it slightly better for all of you guys over in Asia. The CCAF has not been improved very much, so really it's pretty much the same as what you had last year, just with the right number of teams. So you've now got 24 teams in a major league now. So I hope you enjoy it. And then of course the big one for me, because of course I'm European, is we've got the Turkish League, obviously, and all of these leagues will be fully updated to match FIFA 21 and so on. For those of you that are wondering what squad file I'm going to be using for FIFA, I will show you now. It will be the latest version. So if you are wondering if a player is going to be in here, so for example, I was asked earlier on about Smith Rowe. So if you want to know if he's going to be in the mod, then if he's in this on FIFA 20 on December 11th 2020, Smith Rowe, then he will be in the game. And there's been lots of others that have been asked as well, so all of those are there, they're on there. Now if you tell me before release about other players that maybe aren't showing up here, then I may be able to include them. It all depends on timescales, but I will let you know. So that's hopefully answered any questions. I have also now changed the Club World Cup and this has now been changed back to the current format, which runs in December, rather than the newer format, because that, I think, is now no longer happening, and you're going to have all of the rounds and all of the correct setup for the FIFA Club World Cup. Finally, I will show you the European Championships have been increased, which I think they were increased previously anyway, and this is now going to include all of the teams that are qualified for the European Championship, barring those that do not exist in the mod. I hope that makes sense. Right, let's come back to some of your questions, shall we? Anything else to go through? The new leagues. Okay, I'll come back to when it will be released shortly. Okay, I'm just reading through your comments now. So many. Okay, let me come back to here. Nice. Harry. Thank you, Oleg, for... I don't know if I'm the best, but I do try. Thank you. Carlos. Harry, the new League One Uber Eats scoreboard 15 and the updated database, please. Okay, so I think I have got the Uber Eats scoreboard, but maybe I didn't release it. Let me have a look quickly. I'll show you. Sorry, I do forget sometimes what I've actually added to the mod. So let's have a look at the scoreboards here. What have we got? So, no, that's the old one. There we go. I think it's this one. Is it not? If it's not, I will have a chat with the guys and see if we can find it. The updated database will be released soon. Don't you worry, my friends. How to change year in career mode. So I don't give out information about changing career mode and stuff like that, because it's more of a selfish reason, actually, because it's one of the areas where people can't get career mode to work. If you do use other mods, you may not notice this, but I notice it. They do not make the changes to career mode that I make with every release, hence why this mod takes longer to make than most mods do. So what happens is I tend to not give out a lot of that information, but because I am retiring, I will be releasing guides on this channel on how to edit FIFA 14 so that you guys will actually be able to do this stuff in the future. I hope that's helpful, but for now I have to be a little bit unfair. Have I checked the Bangladesh team? No, I haven't, but because you helped me out, like I said, I will be looking at that team. If you did send it to me, I will have to check where you sent it, because I get sent a lot of stuff, but I think I've got it, so don't worry about that. We'll talk about that. Harry, you're very king man. I will be glad if you throw the patch when the transfer period is over. Yeah, so let me talk about the release then, shall I? So it was held up because of COVID. We've had some issues, particularly in Brazil, actually, in Argentina. And those guys who are working on the Brazilian league, they've not been able to release anything yet. I am in discussion with them for me to be able to take over that league and to be able to create a league. If that happens, I'll be able to tell you when it will be released. If that doesn't happen, I still will have to rely on that team. Now, I would prefer to rely on them because they actually have... Well, basically, they know how EA creates stats. So, basically, those players in that league will have stats very similar to if they were actually licensed in FIFA games now, and that's why it's quite good that we have the expertise that we have. Okay, and that's why you get good growth in career mode and all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, I hope that answers your question on release. In terms of a date, I personally have to stop modding in February. At some point, which will mean that whether the patch is done or not, I have to stop. But I am very, very confident that the mod will be released, not just with the summer transfers for 2020, but also the winter transfers for January 2021. So don't worry, it's sooner than you think, but it's not coming out today. Okay? Can I convert this into a FIFA 15 database? I answered that earlier on. Yes, I can. Can anyone borrow me an Origin account just to download FIFA 14? I'm afraid I don't think that will work, to be honest. I do not support cracks, so you will have to go and look for that elsewhere, I'm afraid. But I have seen people sharing it recently, so yeah, go and have a look. The reason I don't share them is because we have some good connections with EA, and we just do not promote piracy, I'm afraid. So yeah, if you can find it elsewhere, then great. How do I make alternative forms for goalkeepers myself? So with goalkeepers, how it works is you need to use a combination of, so I am answering, I can't say your name, I'm afraid, but basically how I do it is I would use, as you can see here, goalkeepers, I use the numbers like 12, 13 and so on. Now, if you just, what I would normally do is I would go into Creation Master, open up a kit, and I would, first of all, I would duplicate a kit. So let's go to Arsenal. And we'll go Arsenal away. Okay. Let's see. Yep, so that's Arsenal away. And what I would normally do is I would copy the Arsenal away. So I have a copy of it. And then I would then change it either by importing the images, yeah, that you want, or by swapping out with RX3s. Yeah, so the RX3 would, this number here is kit 1_2_0 is the goalkeeper kit, so you would either replace that or you would also replace 12 and 13. Now, because I realise as I'm talking, this isn't going to make very good sense to you, so what I will do is I will write a mini guide on how to update kits and how to make them, because there's also another step that you need to make, and that is to go into the FIFA RNA files, Lua, you go into the assignments, and then under teams you have these. Now this needs a lot more explanation, because as you can see it's a lot of text, so I think what I'll do is I'll write this down and I'll put a little note in it, and I'll try and at you so that you can see what you need to do. I hope that makes sense. Let me just take your name and this question. There we go. There you go. I will update that. Okay. 15. Thank you for keeping FIFA 14 still alive. No problem, Lucas. Bro, can you correct this? Yes, I've already answered that. How do I turn off the hidden stats in career mode? Hidden stats? Huh. Can you, Ilias, can you, can you tell me which stats you're actually referring to? I don't know what you mean, my friend. How do you do? I'm feeling very good, Mr. Gamer 2012. Hello, Rogue 7. Origin account. How to change start? I've already answered that. Sorry, my bad. Oh, where have I've lost it? Oh, there you go. So, Harry, about the player values, will the values be adapted, or will they be as high as the last mod? As high as the last mod. Okay, so I'll explain the values. Okay, so with FIFA 14, you have the player stats, okay, as you see here, and they do not match up. All right, so what happens is that, as you can see, it says overall 82, potential 81. I have to go through and I have to modify this so that the stats are not the same as FIFA 21. The reason they're different is because FIFA 21 calculates the statistics differently, but it also doesn't include the stat composure in FIFA 14, so the overalls never match. So what that means is that the player values in FIFA 14 have to be modified as well. Now I've gone through and I've done that, and in the last mod, you're right, they were very high, but the problem you have with the mod as it is now is that the better you do in the game, you earn far more money than vanilla FIFA 14. You know, you earn like 150 million for winning the Premier League and all that sort of stuff. And I think even with some of the lower leagues, you're earning 10s, 20s, 30 millions, and especially when you start winning the Europa League and also the Champions League, you start earning 50 million. And so you will be able to afford these players. But I've tried to get a balance between real world values, what doesn't make it boring for those who do start in bigger leagues like myself with Arsenal, but also to give a real big challenge for those who play with lower league teams like the Bundesliga, Free Liga, for example, or the League Two in England and so on. So it's supposed to make it harder and more encouraging for people, so that there's just a bit of, you know, some people will enjoy just going and playing and just, you know, choosing a Man City and buying everybody. And if you want to do that, that's fine, but you can easily just do that anyway. You can just go into the files and update the transfer fees and you're golden. So that's completely up to you, but for now I'm just trying to get the balance right, and some people will be happy and some people won't. But you of course, Claudio, when you see it, just let me know what you think, and if I feel that I can change it in any way, I'm always happy to look at it. Okay. Thank you. I do believe it is a good mod. Don't know if it's the best, but I'm pretty good. Any crash with cracked version of games. So there's no real reason that the mod itself should cause a crash with cracked versions of the game. However, cracked versions, because they're not original games, will not be as updated. It won't be the updated version that I use. More than likely it will be an older version, so there may be situations where it will not work, but most of the things with the mod will work. However, some people will experience things like with the menus, for example, the toggle menu doesn't work for them on cracked versions, and so therefore they can't use the switch and they have to remove files. So there are situations. I can't legislate for all cracked versions, and that's why I don't support them, I'm afraid. Is Cruzeiro in the rest of the world? No, they're not, but I think somebody's made them, and so they may be added. So I don't know is the answer. I don't know if they'll be added. I'll just have to find out. We're still working on the Brazilian League. Can you make a mod for the Ukrainian Premier League? So the Ukrainian Premier League is possible. Whether it will be possible this season or not, I don't know. It can be activated in FIFA 14. I have the ability to use that. We have some software that we use that nobody else can, which is great, so we can swap some things around and make it work. But I do know that league is not ready yet. What I can tell you is that there are some leagues like the Czech Republic League and also the Greek League, which were in FIFA version 2, which may also be getting added to the mod. But currently, it's I personally do not have any plans for the Ukrainian Premier League just yet, but we'll see. Related to Scoreboard, could somebody create a scoreboard for Carabao Cup 2? It's a bit selfish, but I love to experience English divisions to the full. If it's available, it's very simple. To use it, I'm sure somebody will make it, or it has been made somewhere. So yeah. Do I have an Instagram? I do, but it isn't related to this content. However, I'm considering making one. But it all does depend on how well this channel does. I've got a reasonably okay number of followers. There are many people that are not subscribed to the channel, and I hope that more will subscribe, especially if I interact a bit more, and especially if I'm actually maybe offering a bit more content than I currently do. And maybe then I will make an Instagram and do all of that stuff. But no, the one I use is personal. And if you don't know, my real name is not Harry BullZak. That's a fake name that I use on the internet. Many fans from Ukraine will be alerted. Yes, they will. And if it's possible and it's ready, then I will try to add it in. Okay. You said you're going to make guides to edit FIFA 14. Will you also explain how to create a team and put it to UEFA teams, rest of the world team? Yeah, absolutely. I can kind of show you how I do make teams now, to be honest, and then I'll add the guide later. But it's really simple. If I want to make a team, I literally just go to any team I want, and I just copy the team like that. I leave that set to automatic. Do I want to create the players? Sometimes it's good to say yes on this, and sometimes no. It all depends on yourself. I'm going to say yes, so we've got some players there. And then all I do is I go in, I change the name here, yeah. I then go into here and I change the ID if needed, and then that's it. So we've now got that team ready. We've also got the roster of players. I can go through and I can change the players and the stats to real names and so on. You can also change the specific formation. That's really straightforward to do. All you need to do is you select the formation that you want here. So let's say we want this formation, and then you click it to specific, and then that is it. That will now be linked to that team. Okay, that's as simple as that. Then what you want to do is you come up to this area here and you click excuse me, you click here to refresh. You go also to the league button and you click refresh here, and then you go to rest of world, and you then go here, go to team 130, there you go, and that will then add it into that league, and you'll now see that it is added to that league. And then because it's in rest of the world, you can choose whatever nationality you want it to be, and that's it done. Now to make it work in career mode is a slightly different thing, and I will show you the files that you need to add and edit, but I won't go through the whole thing right now because I've been live now for 45 minutes and I need to finish soon. So what you would need to do, for example, if you wanted it to be added into the Champions League, it will go here, and then that team. So what's this one? This one here, I don't think that's Champions League. No, is it? No, it's not. That's the Asian teams. There you go. So that's the Champions League. Asset ID 223. And what you would do is you select this text here. You paste here, and then you enter the ID of the team that you want to include, and that will go in there. Okay, that's basically how you do it. And that will generally work, and I will add a guide in the future to show a bit more detail about that. I hope that answers your questions there. Almat, is it Almat? Okay. FC Legend, how can I change player age in player CM? So if you're talking about player career mode, which you are, the reason it can't be changed is because the game is like 7, nearly 8 years old now, and the age is restricted. It's linked to the original date of that game and the season that it was linked to. So no matter what I do, I cannot change the age, and that's just unfortunate. But what you can do is you can make a player in Creation Master. Yeah, you can make a player in here, and you can add it to a squad, and then you can select that player. That's how I do it with my own player. And then that way you can actually choose the age that you want it to be. So if you want the player to be 16 or 17 or whatever age you want it to be, you would set the year to 2004 or whatever, and you'll be able to do that. I hope that answers that question. I'll be typing this up later on, so hopefully that will answer that question finally, because I get asked that all of the time. I really do, and I'm surprised I didn't list it earlier on. Is Scoreboard fit? Hello Leo. Is Scoreboard fit 14 version 3 installed before or after all the rest of the patch has been installed? Okay, so that patch and the theme manager and another thing I want to show you shortly are all things that you can install before or afterwards. It makes no difference. In fact, they're going to be included in version 3. So you can install. You don't need to install them after that. They won't be needed. They'll be exactly the same. I'm not planning on changing them at all. And if I do, I will note it in the README file in the installation. Okay. My name is Elrat. Hello, Elrat. Thank you for telling me that. I will come back to your question later on. What's this? I cannot say your name. I'm really sorry, but I'm going to say Kalichu. Hello, Harry. Do you know how exactly players' growth work? After some testing, I came to the conclusion that players have assigned statistics that they can rise in career mode, and only them. Example, mental. No, that's not true. So, player career mode. I'll show you. I'll show you how that works. Kalichu. I hope I'm sorry I can't say everybody's name correctly. As you can imagine, it's not easy to pronounce some names. So that file, which I'm sure you all know, is going to be, where are we? I can't bloody remember. Player growth. There we go. Right, in player growth, at the bottom here, you've got these three blocks of statistics. You have the physical stats, you have the skill stats, and you have the mental stats. Now the mental stats, when you look at FIFA 14, are split into one section. The skill sets are set at the bottom, and then the physical stats are set at the top. Now these are divided by age. So the age is here. So the first age is 16. Then the second age here is 23. The third age group is 29, and the fourth age group is 40. So these values here relate to the growth of physical growth. Now, because players get slower as they get older, they do not have a plus number after 29, because most players do not get faster after that sort of age, and then slowly decline between 29 and 40. So that's roughly how that works. If you want more detail on this, then I can go through this again at a later date. But I hope that that's enough to just give you an idea of how you can edit the player growth yourself if you wanted to try it. Okay, Elias, when you scout players, the game hides their stats. Is there a way to disable this? Yes. So in here, GTN data reveal, I'm going to include an option which removes some of these stats, and that will also be able to you'll be able to actually view the stats of some players. However, by default this won't be possible, so I will probably put something like a file in here that says reveal stats, and you just change the name of it. So I'll put, say for example, reveal stats, and if you want to use that version, you will just simply go to here, original for example, and you change the reveal stats version. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Change that to, and then you'll be able to use it. That's what I'll probably do, something like that. I won't build any software to make that possible. Hope that answers your question. Okay, where are we at? Yes, I hope I answered you correctly, and I understand about GTN scouting, so I hope that's answered your question. What team do I support? Emran is right, I do support Arsenal. Understood, thanks for it. No problem, Claudio. There we go. Harry, thank you for noticing my question. No problem at all, Elrat. I hope it's answered your question. Can we install the mod on Moddingway mod? Okay, so depending on what version of Moddingway mod you have, it's not possible for you to install the mod in Moddingway. But what you can do is you can actually install FIFA Infinity Patch over the top of Moddingway mod. I really need to think about how you can do this, and I do need to talk to Ariel about this first, but what you should be able to do is you should be able to use Version Manager to back up your existing files. So you install Version Manager, In fact, I'll tell you what I'll do. I will make a video of Version Manager, particularly for you guys. It is a new version of Version Manager. It's different to the version that I posted with version 2. It does slightly better, has slightly better functionality, and I will post that, and I will show you how to do it, and then I will show you how you can use Version Manager with other mods, so that you can also add the features that I have in this mod and use features from other mods and make it work. I hope that answers your question, and I wish that I could show you more, but we've been going for nearly an hour, and like I said, will need to stop probably in about 15 minutes or so. You want the link? So hello Farid, I want the link of career mods starting in 2020 please. Thank you for saying please, because in England when somebody says I want, it's a very rude thing, just so you know. We would say in England I would like, but yes, I will be sharing the career mods starting in 2020 as soon as possible. I haven't tested Fit version 2 by changing the calendar dates, but you could do that. Maybe I will show people how to do that another time. Harry, will there be a special update for tournaments like the South American tournaments? So I don't know if you saw, Joan, but there is these files here which will be available in career mode for Commonwealth Libertadores, the Recopa and the Sudamericana. Those will be in career mode, and they will also be available in tournament mode. However, they will probably be the same format as this, so it won't be a full Copa Libertadores like you would have in the real world. I hope that makes sense. The same actually goes with UEFA Champions League. This season, because we haven't had the time like we did last season to make all of the teams, there will not be a full Champions League mod in tournament mode. Unfortunately, there's just no time to do it, I'm afraid, guys. Please add Algeria national team. Yasliv, I will show you that I do actually have available for you, because it was actually asked many times. Will I add Algeria? And there is Algeria there, and I don't know, have I done the rosters? And there's the new rosters for them, so that's recently been updated. So yes, Algeria will be in the game. I hope that makes you happy, my friend. Let's see. Rogue 7, hey Harry, how do I change the gameplay? And thanks. Okay, so gameplay generally, oh god, do you know what, I'm not going to be able to answer that in a very, do you know what, let me copy this question and I will try to make a video on gameplay. So I hope you can see that, Rogue 7. I will come back to that, and I will probably do a video or write up a description on how you may be able to edit gameplay yourself. However, it's very complex. If I show you quickly, do I have one available? Let's see, do I have one in there? No, I don't want to have one in there currently. Let's have a look. Let's see what I got. So if I show you this one, for example, okay, bear with me. Okay, so we're going to install that there. Right, so if you have a look here, you can see that there is a lot of information that needs to be updated. Okay, and this will change so many factors to the game. So as you can see, it's not a really easy explanation as to how to change certain things. So what may be easier is I either try to make a video to explain how these things work, or maybe you can ask me specifically if there's an exact thing that you're looking to change, and we'll go from there. This stream will remain on the channel. Yes, it will. I will add this channel, add this video to the channel later on. Yasin, okay, I won't say. I don't know what that means. Avaral, V14 is not available in Origin. I want to buy it. Yeah, that's a good point. You're right, it is no longer available in Origin to buy. However, it may still be available, and there are many people here who do not... well, look, you're actually being offered it by Yasin. That's for you guys to sort out. It's not something that I can sort out for you guys. Okay, let's see what else am I. Harry, can you update the South American leagues? I think I've covered that already, Alex RZ. I hope I have. Yeah, those will be updated. Like I said, we're going to try to add the Uruguayan league as well as an additional league, the Chile, the Colombian, Brazil and Argentina for the 2020 season. So I hope you're going to be happy with those. Farid, but I couldn't play Azerbaijani Premier League in career mode in 1920 season. The Azerbaijani League was not possible in the 1920 mod or version 2. Those leagues were added as additions just so that the teams could sit in the right leagues. There were some plans to add new leagues in, and that's why it was done that way. The plans for version 2 were massive. There were so many leagues that we wanted to add, but honestly guys, it takes such a long time, and I'm going to briefly show you before I go some of the things that happen and how long just like one thing takes to make sometimes, and this is why some of this stuff it just takes so long to release. So yeah, I hope you can appreciate that I can't offer you every single league. Will there be new kits of Sir Werner Zvezda, Red Star Belgrade in the patch? Yes, Peter. Yes, there will. They are done. They are updated. Do you want to see them? Have I got them loaded? I'm not sure if I do. Let's have a look. Shall I? I may not have them loaded in this version, but we will soon find out, won't we? There we go. Are these the old ones? I think these are the new ones, aren't they? Yeah, it's a bit small, but these are the versions that I have currently. I will check them and find out if they're new, but they look like the new ones to me. Hope that answers your question, my friend. Hello, Harry. Your fifth version 3 would be released on December 2020, but still not yet available. Any info? So, hi, Nana. Unfortunately, I did post on the community channel that the reasons why. Unfortunately, some of our members did come down with COVID and their jobs were threatened and all that sort of stuff, and as much as this is important for me and everybody else to get this out to you guys, their health and their lifestyles are far more important than a mod. So I hope you can appreciate and understand that. Thanks, Harry. No problem. FC Legend, Yassine, stellar stuff, Harry. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy when it is finally released. How to make kits is my last question. Thank you for answering my questions, mate. No problem, Farid. So the kits are really simple. I'll tell you what, I'll make a little video for you to show you how to do it. It's really, really straightforward. It really is. And there are quite a number of ways of doing it. I will show you what I think is the best way. I will give you the software that you can use to make the kits, but I'll also show you all the variations of how to make a kit. Alright, Emran, any way to remove practice before a match? Yes, so there is a way of doing that. Do I have the files loaded? So I don't have the files loaded, but I will find them. So there are files called nav files, and in the nav files these can be changed so that section has been removed. Now the section the practice you mean is the games, right? So all you do is that gets edited so that it removes any need to play any practice games. I've got a patch for that already. I believe Ovid, I think on Soccer Gaming Forum, actually sent me it, I think. So I will find that and I will make that available if people want it. Elrat, thank you, Harry. No problem. I hope you enjoy it, and thank you very much for mentioning the mentioning the fine words of Arsenal Football Club. Don 25. What Ukrainian teams will there be in a patch? So at the moment, I will show you what they are. Nope, wrong league. What is the name of the bloomin' Ukrainian league? I cannot remember. I can't bloomin' remember the name of the league, so why don't I, whilst I'm here, run through what I do have. So it's Finnish, you got the Uruguayan as it is currently. There we go. I can't believe I've forgotten. That's what happens. I'll take a little bit of a break over Christmas and I've completely forgotten what's in the mod. It happens, you know. We all have these moments, don't we? Of course, anybody who's watching this in playback can stop the video and have a look at the teams that I'm showing now on screen. And yeah, I hope that you'll be happy with what we got. So at the moment, we've just got these. I knew it was that one. There we go. So you got Dynamo Kiev, Shakhtar Donetsk, and Zorya Luhansk. I hope that's enough for you. But like I mentioned before, if we can make the Ukrainian league possible, then they will be added. Can't wait for the patch and play Gornik Zabers in the best mode. Gornik. Do I even have them as a team? Interesting. Yes, live. Thank you. No problem. Oh gosh. Oh god. What's gone on here then? Right. Thanks, Harry. Thank you, how to make kits. Wow. There's been a number of messages coming through here. Hi Harry, I did not understand how to use the hotkeys in the Scoreboard Manager. Okay, so right, I will show you. Shall I load up the game and show you? Now the fans may come on because I'm on my laptop, but why don't I show you how the scoreboards work? Shall I? Right, if you go into Scoreboard Manager, how they work is pretty straightforward. So I'm going to just choose. I'm going to choose a league that I'm familiar with because otherwise, I will mess it up, I'm afraid. You've got the Premier League there, you've got Premier League there, 1 and 2. I'm just going to show you these, and I go with the name, save settings. Okay, right. Install that as well. Okie dokie. Right, so you keep this program open when you open the game. I'm just going to check, make sure that these have been installed. Oh, file. It'd help if I looked in the right folder, wouldn't it? So there you go, all the overlays are loaded up here. Good. Right, so let's open up the game. This should be okay. I couldn't do it on the original video because they get copyright striked, I'm afraid. So let's just open that up. Whilst that's opening up, let's see if I can go back to any questions. So again, I've answered the questions about the 2021 update. As soon as I can get it available, I will. Okay, guys. As soon as it's available. I'm really tempted to give you sort of a rough time, but you just never can tell with these things. You know, especially when you have a team of people. It was just me doing it, then I could be a bit clearer, but I can't do that right now. I'm sorry to say. Okay. Let's keep going on whilst this is loading up. Can you add the Concept tournament be added and Jamaica? I'm afraid not, Elton. Jamaica will not be added into this version of the mod. It's just like I mentioned before, the other teams have had priority because of the limitations in career mode and the amount of national teams that I can use. If I had more time, I would do it, but I can't. However, I do have some information for you. One of the guys is working on an international mod. I don't know if it's for, I think it's for FIFA 16. But if I'll have a chat with him, and there is a possibility that if it's easy enough, I will get it converted for FIFA 14. But don't hold me to that, because I really am running out of time. I've got to be finished this mod by February. Okay, so let's go to kickoff. I'm just going to sim a game. That's Tottenham. Please ignore the body models for the moment, please. I have been testing new body models recently, so they will look a little bit weird. So, what you would do is here, you've got your scoreboards, and if I wanted to load the first one, I would press 1. Okay, now I don't think you could hear that, so what I'm going to do quickly is I'm going to put on the desktop audio, and I'm hoping you can hear the... Can you tell me that you can hear the game? Okay, so if I now press 1 while the game is open, you should hear the name of the scoreboard being called out.
England Barclays PL 2013.
Okay, so that's the one that should be loaded now. So if I exit out into here and then I click resume match, you should see, although it's not working now. Why is that not working? That's very odd.
Tricky game.
Oh, hold on 1 second. Let me try. This is odd.
SVNPU England PL 2019.
Very, very strange. I need to look into this. I don't know why it's not working. Maybe there's an issue with something that I've done. Install that. Okay. Right, that definitely should be working, but for some reason it's not. I will look into this and I will get back to you, and then I will update the scoreboards. I don't know what's going on here. Something very odd that's never failed before, ever. Literally, that's the first time. And of course it happens when you're doing it live. So I will come back to you on that Mars Spaghetti, okay? Let me just copy this and save this to my questions, and I'll come back to that. Okay. Then a constant note to Jamaica. When autumn winter come, the players put on their sleeves, but for some reason the latest version of the mod does not work. In the rain, they are dressed the same way as in summer. Okay, so Farid, what happens there is that there was a final change made to the mod to introduce how winter accessories were worn when it's raining. Now, in England, we have lots of different seasons. We also have lots of different rain, and sometimes the players do not wear long sleeves in the rain. So it was based off of that, but unfortunately I didn't think about the other leagues. That meant that in some leagues that in winter you do end up not wearing the sleeves. That will be changed for version 3, and so yeah, you won't need to worry about that anymore. Montel, greetings, thank you. Does EA allow you to edit commentary? So this is another question that's been asked. There is no way for the commentary to be altered currently. I would love to be able to include commentary from FIFA 21 and other games, but sadly that's not possible. The only thing that I can do is to use Creation Master to try and give players as many as possible a real cool name, or at least a cool name that sounds like them in game, to just try and at least give us our favourite players some sort of real name or something. But it's not always as easy as that, because FIFA 14 is a very old game now. Okay, I'm just going through these, lots and lots and lots of messages. lots and lots and lots of messages. Yeah, please try not to spam. I'll do my best to answer as many questions as I possibly can. Kits look great, thank you very much. No problem, Peter. Thanks Harry for your wonderful work. Thank you very much, Juan, for supporting me. I really appreciate you guys being here. I really, really do. Is it possible to enable youth scouting in Kazakhstan? No, it isn't. The league doesn't exist, and it doesn't actually exist at all as an option. So no, unfortunately, it's not possible. Youssef, Harry, did you think about adding Arabic commentary? So Arabic commentary is not something that I can add, I'm afraid. I can add tech support so that you can read it, but unfortunately it's it's just not it's just not something I can add, I'm afraid. However, you may be able to find it by downloading. I know what I did wrong, actually. I forgot to regenerate, didn't I? Like an absolute clown. What is it I tell everyone to do? Regenerate, regenerate, regenerate. And what did I not do? I did not regenerate. That is why the scoreboards didn't work. We will come back to that shortly. Let me just open this up. Browse. This is what happens when you have a long day and you do all the modding at the end of the day. So I'll come back to the scoreboard shortly. So hello Edison from Brazil. Thank you for joining the stream. Hey Harry, how do you change game? I've answered that already, haven't I? Guys, hello, who can help? I've installed version 2, and when I regenerated BH with formats, nothing has changed. The same with same FIFA 14, same squads, faces, etc. So, for this question here, I can't read this name sadly. You've got two things that you need to look at, right? The first one is if you go to your documents folder here, you will see a folder called FIFA 14. Now, if you have a file in here called squads, take that squads file and copy it and cut it and paste it onto your desktop. I don't have one, so I can't remove it, but if you do have one, you can remove it from there. Then go and have a look if it works. If that hasn't worked, what you then have to do is go into the game folder here, and right at the bottom you've got version manager. If you open up version manager, you will need to select the version that you want to use. Of course, this is version 3 now, but for example, you want to load up version 2 base or whatever one you want to use. You select that, you apply it, and then you'll be good to go. I'm not going to apply that because I've got a database currently in play, so I can't do that, but that's how you load it up. And then of course you go to File Master and you regenerate, and then you'll be good to go. I hope that answers your question, because I actually get asked that quite a lot, and it is something that I do show in all of my installation videos. And what will happen is when you first get this mod, the same situation that you've got here will not be possible. You will have the same result, I should say. So that's just something to be aware of. You will have to go into version manager to load up your game, and load up the new game, I should say. As you may be hear, I am starting to get tired, so I'm not getting my words right. Harry, is it possible to make mini kits display in FIFA 14 as it in FIFA 15? No, I'm afraid not, Elrat. It's not. No problem, my friend. Did you say database? Oh, there we go. So Elrat, you've already started to answer what I've just gone through. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it when you guys in the community help me to answer some of the questions that you have knowledge about. It really is helpful. Okay, thanks for answering. No problem at all, Montiel. I'm going to restart the match, right? But that's not necessary normally. As long as the files are loaded up, it should work. You know, originally South Africa League also doesn't exist, but we can send youth scouts to South Africa. Could we apply something similar to Kazakhstan? Now, it all depends on the structure of the game, Almat. The problem is for example with Ukraine, it just doesn't exist at all in the youth setup. If Kazakhstan does exist, then it is possible, but if I don't have any teams there, then there's nowhere for it to go. If there's no league there, there's nowhere for it to go. Does that make sense? Yusuf, thank you, Harry. No problem at all. His work. What about FIP 16? So how FIP 16 is working is, I'm sure you've all heard his name. I hope you have. There's a guy called Scouser09 that I work with, and we work together to bring the patches together. So he's brilliant with the software. He's amazing, actually. Far better modder than I am. Believe me, I'm not even being modest. He really is. The difference with me is I try different things every season, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. But he is brilliant. He's all of the software that you see, like the version manager and all that sort of stuff, were all created by him. Top modder. He's working on FIP 16, and like I said before, that will be coming out pretty much the same time because we're working very closely together. The mods will be pretty much the same. However, there are some restrictions on FIP 14 that make it harder. I have to make far more databases than is needed in FIP 16, so it does take me a little bit longer. But whatever's in FIP 14 that you've seen today will be in FIP 16 plus more. But I'm not going to tell you what the other stuff is because that's for a later date. Okay, can you give your... No, I'm not going to do that. Okay, thank you. Okay, I understand now. Thank you. Brilliant. I'm glad everybody's understanding what I'm saying. Harry, to create DLC, use which tool? Wanted to put Serie B Brazil. Okay, so that is a big one. It's going to take a little while for me to explain exactly how to do that. I use a combination of go back here, of Creation Master, and also by manually updating the DOC folders. Like I said before, because I am retiring, I will be explaining this data, so I will come back to that. And I'll tell you what, I will also copy this question and I will put it in my notes to remind me to do a guide on how to add tournaments. Right, before I go, I wanted to show you two things. I wanted to show you that the scoreboards work, firstly, and I also want to show you some of the boots that I am currently working on, and that will...
England Barclays PL 2013.
Go there. Just installing these now quickly. Right, let's do this, shall we?
SVNTU, England Barclays PL, 2013. FIFA 14 default.
Bear with me, guys. Thank you very much. Just want to show you that this is working. Coming up, Averell. Coming up. No problem. They will be ready just any minute. No problem at all. Can Turkey tier for first come in, please? No, I'm afraid there will be no additions to Turkish leagues any longer. That's now been finalised. Sorry, my friend, but you will be getting the first division that is in FIFA 21. Right, let's see if this now works after I stupidly forgot to make sure that everything is loaded and saved, and also use FileMaster. Right, so as you can see here, this is the default stuff. If I now press 1, you'll hear it call out the name.
2013.
So now when I press escape and I resume the match, you should now see this is the old format that we once had. Now, as I've explained, these overlays do not get updated. So if you want to use different overlays for a league, you have to actually quit out of the game and load them. I don't know why FIFA 14 does that, but it does do that. But that's how that works there. I've now loaded up the newer Premier League 2019 version, and there you go, it's now the 2019 version. Now how this works is you keep the Scoreboard Manager open, and whilst you have it open, you are able to type in and put whichever one of these that you want to use, and as long as the ID matches up, so as long as, for example, I know that the Premier League starts with a 2, other leagues will start with a 7 and so on, and I put a file actually in the Scoreboard software here. Where are we? It's the Scoreboards, and I've listed some of them, but I don't know if it's complete. So for example, with England it starts with a 2, France is a 3, and Russia as well, 4, Austria, and so on. So this is your guide to show you which leagues use which number overlays, and so you may have to go in and change the numbers of some of these to make them work in that particular league if you want to use them in that league. I hope that makes sense, guys. And yeah, so that's right, I just explained that that's just something that FIFA 14 does. It's really frustrating, it just will not change it. Really annoying. So finally, I just wanted to show you the last bit that I'm working on. These are the things that I work on that do take some time, but whilst I'm here I may as well show you. Let me just make sure that the right ones are loaded. Okay, so I'm currently working on new boots, and as you'll be able to see, so some of these are the old boots, but I have been working on new ones. I'm just going to try and see if I can find some of the newer ones. So for example, I've got now the new model here. I've been able to add the laces in, so you've got the now new model of those. You've also got some of the new got the Pumas now. Some of these stuff is from the old mod, but you can see now that they've got laces, and they've also been reshaped so that they fit around the legs properly. All of these shoe models are going to be updated so that they actually fit around the legs. Some of them you've seen bleed and so on, and as you can see, I've got new models here of the boots that were not used previously. Those are now going to be in the game as well. Even though they're not the new versions, there will be new versions added. As you can see here, these are some of the newer boats, new models for these versions of the Mercurial Vapors remastered. I've got new models for these and so on. So as you can see, quite a lot of work has gone into getting you the correct versions of the boots, and these will be higher resolution versions with the correct models, with the correct shapes and so on. So I hope you're looking forward to those. I hope you're looking forward to the new mod, and I really appreciate you guys joining me tonight on the stream. You want some of the boots that you'll be asking for, they will be available. The other thing, the other surprise, is you will be able to select during games. I haven't added them yet, but I will show you. When you go into game, you go down here, you've got Boot Manager. In here, in the new version, you are going to have all of the boots from all previous Modding Way mods that were released for FIP 14. And I'm not just talking about from the last one, I'm talking about from the version 1 FIFA 14 mod. All of those boots are going to be added, all the original boots. This is going to be a definitive mod with everything that I possibly could be brought together for you guys to enjoy. And yeah, that's the end of the stream for now, guys. So I'm going to be logging off now. Thank you very, very much for joining me. I hope I've answered most of your questions. I hope you're leaving me happy, and as soon as I can, as soon as it's possible, I will be uploading and posting the new mod. For now, I'm going to leave you to it. Have a good evening and good night.